Everyone, this is my presentation on Damien Hirst. He was born in 1965 in Bristol, England, and raised in Leeds by his mother. He developed an interest in art at a young age and decided to study fine arts at Goldsmiths College in London. He became very famous for his artworks because they're very bold and controversial, especially his sculptures, which kind of show a little bit more about his fascination of life, death, science, and religion, and some medicine as well. He's one of the most influential contemporary artists currently. So, one of the things that I really like about his work is the theme of death. This is one of his artworks, which is called A Thousand Years. It's an installation featuring a glass enclosure with a severed cow's head. Um, Inside, there's live flies that hatch and feed on the head and then are killed by that insect zapper at the top. So, this artwork kind of shows the life cycle. So that death is something that's unavoidable and just part of life. All the flies in there are born, and then they um, go over to the side where the cow's head is at, so then they can feed, and then they eventually die. And it's something that I find truly interesting because it's a little bit disturbing to see it. Luckily, it's in a glass case, so we don't smell it. But it is something that shows and provokes that emotional feeling of what life is. I think that theme that it has of the cycle is something really interesting, um, because it shows that contrast of life and death at the same time. It's showing a natural process that usually happens just not in our vision or happens over a long period of time. But here you can see it all happening at the same time. So there are some controversy that I thought was interesting, especially when it comes to this artwork here, which is For the Love of God. It is a life-size platinum cast of a human skull that was covered with 8,601 diamonds, and then a large pink diamond on the forehead. This one is showing a lot of contrast between the price and wealth of diamonds, as well as what the price is of um, like a person who has passed away. I think this also shows a lot of his fascination with death, just because instead of hiding death, he covers it with thousands of diamonds that can show a contrast between luxury and mortality. So I really thought this sculpture was interesting from it as well. It's called Verity. It's a 66-foot bronze sculpture that is in England, and it depicts a pregnant woman holding a sword. I think it's very interesting because it combines the idea of life and vulnerability. He actually has a couple of artworks that show like pregnant women, and I think it's something beautiful because he likes to point out the new life that can be created, and it also shows us the vulnerability of the woman, but also the pose and kind of the way that the sculpture is made. It kind of shows empowerment as well. I think it's beautiful to see how like fragile human body really is, but also how strong it could be. So I also like these two works that he has. Pharmacy is super interesting. It's actually like a whole pharmacy that he set up inside a museum. It shows a lot of our dependence on medicine and how we want to avoid death the most that we can. I think it's very interesting that he has this whole thing set up to see and show just how big kind of like a pharmacy could be, and what it represents is that fear of our lives ending, that everything we try to do to prevent that thing that's inevitable. I also like his sculpture here, Hermaphrodite. It kind of shows a little bit more, kind of like in Verity, the vulnerability of the human body. And it's very interesting, this one with the arms cut off and one of the legs as well. Kind of shows somehow it's stable, it's in a very upright position, keeping us interested in looking around, as well as the coral on the structure itself, giving it that more lifelike texture as well. I think these are some of Damien Hirst's more uh, famous artworks, which are the animals in formaldehyde. I really, really like these ones as well, just because his preserved animal sculptures are among, just like his most famous work, just because it's so interesting to look at. Um, it's interesting that the shark is in a dangerous like position, but also it is dead. So it's something that, again, going over his obsession with life and death. It's interesting as well, the cow with the hen on it, and then the half a calf, I believe, and then the zebra, just all showing them in basically caught in life, but also that they are dead. So it's interesting to be able to see both of those things simultaneously. I truly think that Damien Hirst is an amazing artist, and these are just some of the sources that I use for this presentation.